Greetings and welcome to our daily Devo for Friday, the 12th of January today. Our devotion today is entitled Jesus Comforts the Disciples, which thankfully follows the mass defection of the disciples we looked at yesterday. Such is the graciousness of our Savior. The passage that's cited is John 14:1 all the way through chapter 16, verse 33. 14:1 is the verse quoted, "Do not let your hearts be troubled." John 13, 14, 15, 16 are all on that last night. It's quite a percentage of John's gospel letter. And chapter 17 then will be that prayer that we call the high priestly prayer, a chapter that I heard one time a pastor took a whole year to preach through, uh, which is weird, isn't it? Yeah. Um, this is Jesus comforts the disciples. This is as personal as it gets. The world of the disciples was about to tumble out of control. Jesus' betrayal, arrest, and execution were imminent. In these chapters, Jesus speaks directly to his disciples' anticipated grief and uncertainty using images from everyday life. The first image is architectural in the first 3 verses of chapter 14. The disciples were dreading the loss of personal connection with Jesus, the walks they shared, the meals they ate together. The rooms Jesus speaks about are part of a family compound shared with members of the extended family. When a girl married, she left her family group to join her husband's family group. Prior to their marriage, the groom went to work on adding a room to his family's compound that would become the private space for him and his bride. Jesus offered the same kind of familial expectation to his disciples. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. The second image is navigational and involves travel, verses 4-6. Those who traveled in the ancient world did so without a GPS or physical maps. They knew the way to go because repeated trips between familiar locations created a mental map that allowed them to navigate using landmarks. If a person was traveling the road for the first time, they asked someone to come along who already had a mental map to guide them on the journey. Who would be the disciples' companion in the days ahead? When Thomas poured out his worries about disorientation, Jesus responds by saying, "I am the way and the truth and the life." In a world filled with uncertain crossroads, Jesus continues to be the true way to life. The third image is agricultural, and this is over in chapter 15, verses 1-5. Loss brings uncertainty that often surfaces in the question, what am I going to do? The answer is found in a vineyard. Confusion about what to do is intimately linked to confusion about what part of the plant we are. If the disciples saw themselves as the entire plant responsible for producing the fruit, they would quickly become frustrated. Jesus tells them that they are not the vine stalk, but the branches. I am the vine, Jesus tells them. You are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Jesus urged them to ask the right question. It was not what should they do, but to whom were they connected? Love it. Love it. Jesus weaves these images together to create a tapestry of peace. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And that's the last verse in the passage our author has us going to today, John 16:33. In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I've overcome the world. Step back. So if you're connected to me, you'll have everything you need flowing to you. All the juice, the sap, all that's needed for you to thrive as a branch and bear fruit as a branch is going to come from me. You don't have to manufacture it. You don't have to try and produce it. You don't have to try and work it up somehow. Just stay connected. If you're having issues, the Father's the master gardener here. He'll trim things out that are causing problems. It's such a great picture. I don't know how many people love John 15. It's such a great picture. It can be painful to be pruned, that's for sure. But the goal of a grapevine is not to grow so that it gives shade. The goal of the grapevine is to grow to bear fruit for the purpose of bearing fruit. It's a worldly type of analogy, a common everyday analogy which Jesus used all the time to paint a very important spiritual truth. And indeed, what a comfort. In that night where they've heard somebody's going to betray them and they're not sure who it is, in that night when Jesus has told them he's going to be betrayed, what great words to share, to come along and let them know, yes, all of these things are going to happen. Yes, you are going to have trouble in this world because you're living in enemy territory. But take heart. Have peace. I've overcome the world. So take a deep breath, be still, and know that I am God, and all that you need will come from me. Take a deep breath, a Selah kind of moment, as we say at our church. Deep breath. God's got it. I don't need to manage it. God's got it. Blessings to you today on this Friday.